Bruhu, the wicked alchemist wizard, is behind this. So, the king took matters into his own hands and wrote a letter to Arix, the very distinguished hero of Miniland, to give notice that the princess dream was stolen. He had fought in many battles before and defeated all the evil enemies of Miniland, so the brave Arix was the only one in the kingdom who could cope with this situation. As soon as Arix receives the letter with the warning, he quickly gets on his horse and adventure partner, named Horsei, and rushes to the kingdom castle. In the royal castle, King Ajade, Queen Yanai and Princess Waiwi tell him what happened, and hoping that he will take care of himself and that he will return safe with the dream of the little princess, they gave him their blessings and wish him the best of luck. Arix knew that the task ahead of him was not going to be easy, and Miniland was counting on him. He was not going to let them down. He was determined to save Miniland. Chapter 2. The Haunted Cave. Arix sets out on his journey to find Bruhu and retrieve the princess's dream. On the way, he comes across a cave that does not allow horses to enter, whereupon Arix asks Horsei to wait for him outside. Arix goes into the cave where he runs into some haunted ghosts that try to scare and prevent Arix from continuing. But Arix, who is very brave, faces them and defeats them with his trusty sword. As he continued, Bruhu's mutant ants were also in the cave to block the way to anyone who wants to get to Bruhu. Upon seeing Arix, the ants jump on him and attack him. And they fight. And when it seemed that the mutant ants were about to defeat Arix, he breaks away from them and defeats them bravely. Chapter 3. Pin and the Power of the Magic Quartz. Leaving the cave, Arix walks a long way. Until he meets a young boy who seemed lost in a crossroad. His name was Pin. He told Arix that he was lost, and that he didn't know which way to go to avoid running into the cave because of the ghosts and the mutant ants. Arix tells him that he defeated them, and that there are no dangers in the cave. And he offered Horsei, who was waiting on the other side, to return to the Kingdom of Miniland. Arix tells Pin that he needs to reach the castle at the end of the world, where Bruhu is, to recover the dream of Princess Waiwi. And grateful Pin gives him a magical quartz, telling him that the quartz has magic powers that can heal some sort of things, and that may help him to reach Bruhu's castle. Pin and Arix separate, and each one goes their way. Pin makes his way safe and happy to Miniland, and Arix to the castle at the end of the world. Chapter 4. The Encounter with Dragli. After walking for a long time, Arix arrives at a place where the road ends, which was protected by a flying creature called Dragli, who seemed to have fallen ill. Dragli was taking a nap because he was very bored since no one ever passed by. He woke up when he saw Arix arrive, and told him that he could not pass because the road ended in that place. and it was dangerous to approach the limits of the Misty Mountains. Arix explains to Dragly that he needs to get to Bruhu any way he can, to retrieve the princess's stolen dream. But Dragly tells him that he can't take him, because he feels sick and has no feathers to fly and also needs energy to do so. So then, Arix takes out the magic quartz that Pin had given him, and he heals Dragly instantly. Dragly, now cured, and having grown his feathers to be able to fly, recovers his energy, and delighted, he tells Arix that he will take him wherever he wants. So they start their journey flying among the clouds, towards Bruhu's castle. Chapter 5. When Arix and Dragly were arriving at Bruhu's castle, the Takas, who were the feared henchmen of Bruhu, they spot someone at the entrance of the mountain at the end of the world, and Arix rushed to the castle. As Arix approaches the entrance of the castle, Tuki and Taka, who were watching from the top of the tower, threaten and urge Arix to leave immediately. But Arix tells them that he went to look for Bruhu, so that he can recover the stolen dream. The Takas immediately alert Bruhu that Arix was there. He orders them to close the castle gates. At the gate, was frightened to see Arix so determined, and ran inside the castle to close the gates. But Arix ran after him and got inside the castle. Tiki, seeing that Arix had entered, drew his sword and ordered him to retreat. Arix tried to convince him not to offer any resistance, telling him that there was no need to fight. Suddenly, Tiki tries to launch an attack with his sword, but Arix anticipates the move, and with a single fist blow, knocks Tiki out, sending him to sleep for a long time. Tuki and Taka, who had come down to help Tiki, stopped at the stairs when they found Tiki on the ground and Arix in front of them. "Shoot him, Taka!" Tuki shout, and Taka shot his crossbow loaded with ant-tipped arrows. Arix dodges the first attack, and angrily warns them to stop attacking him. But Taka shoots again, this time a rain of arrows with ant points through Arix. And Arix, who has incredible reflexes, runs towards the stairs, dodging the arrows, jump and strike a certain two-leg blow against Taka, who automatically falls out. Tuki runs off to Bruhu's lab, and Arix after him. When suddenly, Tuki turns around, and sword in hand, attempts to thrust him. But Arix, once again, quick of reflexes, dodges the thrust and hits a punch. That makes Tuki fall, leaving him out of combat. At this point, Arix, the very distinguished hero of Miniland, knows that on the other side of the door, up the stairs, is Bruhu, and he bravely heads towards him. Chapter 6. Face to face with Bruhu. As he climbs up to the laboratory, Arix sees Bruhu, who he said, "Bruhu, return the dream of Princess Waiwi, and leave Miniland in peace." Bruhu replies, "Here I have it, come and get it." Arix takes a few steps towards him, but hadn't realized the feared Ninji, the last of the Takas, was waiting for him hidden behind his back. It was a trap. And while Arix goes to Bruhu, Ninji draws his sharp katanas and leaps over Arix's back. But Arix quickly turned and used Ninji's own momentum against him, tossing him aside. Ninji quickly recovers and Arix draws his sword, ready for battle. Ninji attacks first, striking twice with lightning-fast strikes in quick succession, but Arix, as a skilled swordsman, parries each blow with mastery and deftly dodges a third attempt, and with a swift counterattack, Arix knocks one of Ninji's katanas. Ninji, furious, jumps high into the air to finish Arix off, but in a brilliant move, Arix delivered a powerful headbutt blow with his hornet helmet and sent Ninji tumbling into the lab hole. Now Arix stands face to face before Bruhu, and once again, demands that Bruhu return the stolen dream and abandon his wicked schemes. Arix said, "Stop this now, Bruhu, give me the stolen dream so I can return it to the princess." Bruhu simply laughs, and with a glare of defiance and holding up his scepter, he shoots a red bolt of nightmare lightning towards Arix. Quick on his feet, Arix jumps to the side to dodge. But Bruhu isn't done yet, and he fires again. This, like agility, jumps high into the air to avoid the bolt. Yet the lightning strikes one of Arix's horns, shattering it. Arix warns Bruhu to surrender. Bruhu refuses and attacks Arix again, but Arix cleverly uses his sword as a shield and bounces the bolt off the sword, causing the lightning to instantly return and hit Bruhu. Fell, knocked and defeated by his own medicine. Confused and shaken, Bruhu begged for mercy and surrendered, giving Arix the dream of the Princess Wily. And so it was that Arix took Bruhu and the Takas to the dungeons and locked them up. He ran out of the castle, happy and triumphant, to return with Dragly to Miniland. They flew back to the kingdom, and when they arrived in Miniland, Arix was welcomed by everyone as the very distinguished hero he is. And he gave back the stolen dream to the little Princess Wily. And from that very night, Princess Wily and the whole Kingdom of Miniland returned to have sweet dreams and to live happily and peacefully for many, many years. Gratitude, the kings decorated Arix with the golden armor of heaven and the shield of the ancient gods. Arix becomes a legend, inspiring generations to come with his bravery and determination. The story of Arix and his quest to save Miniland becomes a tale that is passed down from generation to generation, reminding everyone of the power of good over evil.
Gracias por acompañarnos. Si te gustó el cuento del sueño robado, no te pierdas nada de la acción, las aventuras y las historias conmovedoras que están por venir. Pulsa el botón de suscripción y entérate cuando publiquemos nuevos contenidos. ¡Nos vemos!